Part of the beauty of life is that people interpret things in many different ways. Each person has a unique individual perspective on a situation or like a story, for example. But with a lot of stories and films, once that perceived consensus is created, that's the one that gets perpetuated. Well, that's dumb. So let's wreck some shit. Here's 4 film stories that are misunderstood as f***. When people think of Romeo and Juliet, they tend to think of a few things. 1, it's a love story. 2, it's an unbelievable love story. And 3, it's a play by that guy. But this general consensus about Romeo and Juliet being a love story is sorta wrong. Old boy Willie was definitely having fun with Romeo and Juliet. He fluffed up the lovey bits with flowery sprinkles of bullshit, while making fun of the decadence of the rich. The kids want to escape their boring lives. The rich families want to keep being rich. But the story is really about caution. It's about how hatred between 2 groups of people that can't even remember how their fight got started will no doubt end in tragedy. The love at first sight thing is just mere recognition of one lonely person to another. They see that they have similar lives almost instantaneously because they're both looking for the same thing. A way out, something new. They're bored as shit, rich as and besides, if you were a single attractive teenager and you saw another single attractive teenager, you'd be like, yep, must be love. Oi, kids. So yes, it is certainly about dumb kids being dumb, but it's more about their dumb families carrying on a legacy of hate. If you really want this illustrated, watch the '96 film. It's wild, plus it's got Leo. When Inception came out, it introduced a lot of people to the concept of dreams within dreams. And the whole film is kind of designed to make those same people that are introduced to this concept wonder, well, is it a dream or is it real? Well, the answer is yes, it is a dream. Because that's not really the question, because that's not really the real story. It's really about a story within a story, which is what the movie shows you how to understand as it goes along. I'll try to sum it up the best way I can. Leo loses his wife and he can't see his kids. So he's sad, doesn't know what to do, probably has a mental breakdown. His father, played by Michael Caine, invents a machine to go within dreams as a form of therapy. After a bunch of mind-bending action scenes, everything is kind of resolved with the help of Ellen Page. Leo does his spinning top impression, and at the very end, it's teetering on whether or not it's a dream or not, and he's reunited with his kids. You see, the whole movie is actually about Leo's dad and Ellen Page working together in Leo's dream to help him cope with loss and move on with his life, which is the most optimistic version of the story. Unfortunately, the sadder version of the story is that Leo's dad and Ellen Page are actually just made up as well, part of his dream, and that he's been dreaming for so long that his mind has finally sorted itself out and can cope with the loss, and he gets to see his kids the way that he remembers them as little kids. So unfortunately, the movie is really about coping with loss and not cool fight scenes on, impossible space. Nor is it about a dream or not a dream. It's a dream. First off, whether or not you liked or disliked Prometheus doesn't really matter. I mean, it was an okay movie at best. It wasn't great by any means. So right away, let's get to it. The fact that Alien and Prometheus are actually very similar in theme. The theme that the universe is a cold, indifferent place, and you don't matter. Humanity ain't shit. Through the movie, characters have different ideas of where life started, where we came from, things about religion, and it's all a mishmash of ideas, right? But the problem is, they're all wrong. Even Shaw has a line in the movie that says, "We were so wrong." Surprise, bitches! The engineers are the alien life forms that are actually the creators of humanity. It's raining like a mother. And as such, they think of humanity as a mistake. So when Peter Whalen brings his android David to talk to one of the living engineers still on the ship on the planet that they go to, the engineer's not too happy. He's like, hold up, y'all. A mistake made another mistake in its own image? Been there, done that, girlfriend. So in summary, God hates you, you don't matter, it was all a cruel joke or mistake. It's all very Lovecraftian. Besides, if you took Prometheus and Alien and put them together, that single storyline would basically be At the Mountains of Madness by H.P. Lovecraft. Speaking of Lovecraft, Lovecraft's main focal point was fear of the unknown. While Alien shows you this eldritch horror from beyond the stars, the Blair Witch Project is a great modern example of fear of the unknown. Even more recently, you could say Slender Man, because Slender Man, while still a figure, is completely faceless and mostly unseen, living in the woods. Anyway, the Blair Witch Project is about a trio of film students who want to investigate a legend of a witch surrounding the woods of Burkittsville, Maryland, formerly known as Blair. They immerse themselves in the horrifying stories that surround her, all the while going further into the woods. They begin to hear sounds all around them and suspect that someone or something is there. One of the group goes missing and they go to search for their lost friend. In one of the scariest scenes in the movie, if not the scariest, the character Heather sees something off screen. She screams. She doesn't understand what she's looking at. The audience has no idea what she's looking at. But using our imaginations, we can fill in the gap. Well, it's gotta be some kind of witch, right? Or is it just a person in a costume? The fact that we don't know is what makes it so scary. I mean, just imagine, all of a sudden you're out there in the woods, it's raining, it's dark, you're looking around but you can't find where you're going, and all of a sudden off screen you see something. What is that? What is that? Can you see up my nose? What is that? Was it a witch? Was it a person? Or was it just some dark, unknowable thing lurking in the shadows of our own minds? Well, good night! How is there a house in the woods? How is there a bedroom in the woods? What is it? What is it? Ah! Ah! Ah!